Alright, hey, how's it going? So I just wanted to make a short video about this Zhiyun Smooth 5 that I bought last week. I've been having quite a lot of trouble with it, actually, and I don't know if I'm alone in it. I have seen other people moaning about it, but I saw that Filmic Pro had just released like an update for it, and I was really hoping that that was going to solve all my problems. But today I seem to be having another set of problems, which is basically I can't even get it to connect anymore. So what happens is if I so actually just want to mention this while I'm turned off. With my phone, if you go to the manual, it suggests how you balance this in portrait mode. Now I can't actually put my phone any further down in this holder because what happens is it starts to hit the thing like that. So I have to go slightly up like this just so I can get the movement. But that means that it's just not balanced at all. So I think that's one of my big problems for a start. It's slightly better when you're in portrait mode, I think. But I still don't really know if I'm putting it, like if I'm balancing this correctly. And I wonder if that's maybe why I'm not getting a smooth movement as I expected with this phone and with this gimbal. Because if I put this in like this, again, I can only go so far with this, and then I'm like this. So I guess the only way to balance this is to kind of move this thing around and kind of get it sort of like that. Is that pretty balanced, I guess? I mean, that looks okay actually on the landscape, I think, but I'm still not convinced that it's correct. But yeah, so if anyone's got any ideas or tips on that, that would be great. But I'm just going to leave it in portrait mode because one of my biggest bugbears with using it in landscape mode, and I like shooting in landscape mode, once you come to the ZY app, it won't rotate. So you're constantly like, when it's on, you're constantly fighting it and trying to like turn your head so you can actually see what the hell's going on the screen. So that's obviously annoying as hell. But yeah, that's just one of the many annoying as hell things there are with this gimbal. So let's just flip this round and we'll go to portrait just because it makes life a little bit easier for when we're trying to actually, see what the hell's going on. So yeah, I'm not saying I know what I'm doing with this because I definitely don't. So if anyone's watching this and you see me do something and you're like, that is not how this works, please let me know because I really want to get this thing working. Like I'm on the fence whether just to send it back because it feels like a massive headache and I'd love it not to be a massive headache. I'd love for this thing to work, as I expected it to work when I bought it. But currently, as it stands, it just seems like an absolute ball ache. So that's as balanced as I can get it with this portrait mode. So I'm just going to have to go with that. So I'm going to lock that off and then I'm going to turn on the gimbal. So if I turn on the gimbal, it should sit relatively nicely. Now it doesn't look very straight to me, and that's another problem I was having last weekend when I was using it, is that I couldn't ever seem to get it. The horizon was hardly ever straight, and I don't know if again this was something that I was misusing, but let's just have a look at this. So last week I was able to connect it quite easily. So you can actually, I don't know if you can read this that well, but it is connected to my Bluetooth. It's a bit too bright, but it is connected and I can see it. So it's connected there. So if I now bring up the app, this lovely app, ZY Cami, and I say connect, so you can see it, can't you? Press connect, and sometimes it connects, and sometimes it doesn't. See, it's connected, and then boom, it just does that. It just jumps in and out of the app, and then it just sort of sits here and does this for ages, which is really boring. But it used to work, so I don't really know what's happened with this since last week. But this last week, once you connected, sometimes it didn't always connect the first time, but once it did connect, it was in, and then you were generally pretty good. But look, it just keeps doing that, so I don't know what's happening there. Something's not quite right. And the alternative thing you can do is there's also this star cam, which doesn't work that well with the gimbal, I don't think. See that this is now in landscape mode. And this is a frustrating thing with this gimbal, is like, if I now want to turn this, I can't just do it while it's on. I think I actually have to turn off the gimbal and flip the thing and put the phone back in. So it's not that user friendly really, which is probably something I should have read up on when I before I bought this thing. But anyway, let's have a look at Filmic Pro. So if we come to Filmic Pro, so this is in portrait, so that's good. If I now go to hardware and I put on the toggle for the Zhiyun Smooth 345, put the toggle on like this. Oh my God, why can't I press it? There we go. So it's searching, connecting, connected, and then boom, just turns off like that. So that's all I've managed to do today. I haven't managed to actually connect to anything. So I can't really demonstrate my other problems, because at the moment I can't even get the app to connect. So yeah, I'd be curious to know if anyone else is having this trouble. I was reading in the manual that if you press the function button, I think 5 times, just trying to find it here, something about, then it should reset the Bluetooth setting or something. But when I do that, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, nothing seems to change. And I don't know if it means long press, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe I'm supposed to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, has anything changed? I don't think it has. Something happened earlier, because it used to be called the Smooth 5D whatever 2, and now it's called the Smooth 5D54C3. So it seems like it's changed its identity in the time that I reset it. So maybe it does kind of work. I mean, maybe you have to unpair it first. I don't know. But this is what I feel with this gimbal, is that nothing's simple, and it just feels like everything, you're just guessing what you should be doing. And I don't know if that's just because it's my inexperience with this sort of thing, or, I think I'm relatively technically minded normally, but this thing just feels like a massive headache. And it's a shame, because I would like it to work. See, it's connecting straight away. As soon as I click on it, it connects, but it just doesn't seem to work. So one other thing I was curious about is if I hold the function button like this, I was trying to remember if something happens, but maybe it doesn't. No, but if you hold the mode button like this, I think something happens. See, then it goes into this sort of standby mode, I think, whereby this is still flashing. But what I was finding when I was shooting was that I'd be moving around and it would be on like this. So when you press this back, you'd be in whatever mode you're in, and you were shooting like this. And then sometimes it would just go blunk, and it would just drop like that. And I hadn't pressed this button, but it would just act like I did. So it would suddenly be shooting, and it would just do this. It would just die on you. But it's holding the position now, so I don't really understand. There we go. And then, yeah, the only way to get it back would be to hold this button. But yeah, I'd be curious to know if anybody else has had these similar problems to me with the app. The other problem I seem to be having is that when it was working, it just didn't seem that smooth. And even after I'd calibrated it in the ZY Cami app, even after I'd done that, quite often the horizon just wasn't straight. So I didn't really understand how I was supposed to get it so that everything was actually flush and flat, because half the time I was shooting, even if I managed to get a vaguely smooth shot, like the horizon would be slightly off like this. And I think there's a way to kind of adjust it manually when you're in certain modes, but again, it just doesn't seem that clear as to what you're supposed to be doing. So yeah, apologies if this video hasn't really been that informative or anything. It's more just me asking the internet what the hell I'm supposed to do with this thing, because I would like for it to work, but I wonder if I've got a slightly faulty one. I don't know. Maybe it's just my phone. Who knows? But all I can tell you is that it's not a smooth experience so far. So yeah, good luck if you get one of these, and I hope it works for you. Let me know if you're having a lot of fun with it, or let me know if you're like me and you're having quite a lot of trouble with it, because it feels like a pain in the arse to me, and it's a shame. Yeah, nice one. Speak to you soon.